move on from the seeding. Kind of an update going into the playoffs. The NBA is going to allow players up to 4 guests, I believe is what I read. 4 guests each to come to the bubble and watch these games. Obviously, I'm sure this is great news for the players to see their families and everything like that and their friends. But that brings a huge, huge risk. A lot of other sports leagues have been going on. We saw in the MLB have been going on without a bubble, and they're failing. They're failing miserably. NBA has had, I think, 3 tests now. 0 positive cases across the board. They're literally being a trailblazer in this situation that is kind of unpredictable. Do you think allowing these guests 4 per player is a risk to the safety of the bubble and potentially the safety of the rest of the playoffs? Do you guys like the call for allowing these guests in? Stacey, we'll start with you.
I mean, them going down there in the first place was a risk. It's all a risk. I know there are some players in the bubble that are struggling mentally with the whole mental aspect, emotional aspect, because they're away from their families. I seen one picture of Russell Westbrook playing with his son. That had toys on the video, on FaceTime, whatever. So I think from a mental aspect, it's a good thing to have family down there, and then the family, they are able to go to the games too and sit at the games. I thought they was gonna do that in the first place when they was talking about the bubble, and I was okay with it as long as nobody's sick, and then you test them the same way. The people that's going down there, test them the same way as you do with the players. Make sure they follow protocol too. But that's my only worry. Like, we got families coming down there, are they gonna stay in line with what's going on too? And then you got kids at Disney World. I don't know how they gonna feel about that exactly, but I'm okay with it as long as everybody stays safe. I mean, you want the players to be in the best mental state, best emotional state as possible for your product, and this is one of the things right now. I don't know if they're gonna go as far as what Stephen A's been suggesting. But allowing family down there, I think is a positive thing.
Okay. Yeah, I like what you brought up, kind of like the mental health and kind of wanting the players to be at full strength. That's a good point. Ben, what about you? What are your thoughts on the guests of the bubble?
I mean, I agree 100%. If you treat it the same way you treated the players coming in, with like you've got your tests and your quarantines and stuff like that. As long as you have the proper protocol in place, it's going to be really good, because I feel like it's got to be so hard for, obviously the 3 of us can't relate, but to be away from your kids, especially a lot of them have young kids in like their formative years. Like Jason Tatum said he almost didn't come to the bubble because his kid's like 2 years old and doesn't want to be away from him for potentially 3 months. And same with what Stacey said, Russell Westbrook and his kid. It's hard to be away from your family for that long, regardless of how old the kids are, or regardless of if you even have kids or not. So like Stacey said, again, it'll definitely weigh on the players mentally. So to have their families there, I think will even raise the level of play, and it'll just make everyone happier. So as long as they're doing it in a safe way, or as safe as they can at least, I'm all for it.
All right, and Mike, as the only father of the group, how much is this going to mean for the players?
It's going to mean a lot, man. I know what it's like. I've been deployed before, so I know what it's like to be away from your kids for an extended period of time. And forgive me in advance, I can't remember who said it, but one of the players has said something along the lines of like, the players want to leave the bubble and get their mind off basketball, and they can't do that while they're stuck there. So I think this is great. I think this is a perfect opportunity because, like Stacey said, you gotta have that mental. You gotta have that mental headspace. Your mental headspace gotta be right if you're gonna perform. It's not just physically; it's everything that goes into being an athlete. So just being able to look on the sidelines and see, I don't know, whoever you're bringing, your mom, your sister, your brother, your spouse, whoever it may be. I just know that's gonna be a great rise in their spirits, and it'll ultimately lead to better games for us as fans because these guys aren't down in the dupes, depressed, thinking about who they're not seeing, or, I can't do my daily talk to my dad before the game and get me right, So at least this way, even though it's small, you get some sort of family or friends in there. Like Stacey says, as long as they're taking the necessary precautions. I mean, look, you're at risk every day. You're at risk every day. You walk outside your house. So unless you're staying in like a hermit, man, you're at risk at all times. As long as they're, checking temperatures, keeping everything sanitized, keeping everybody spaced apart, I got no problem with it. I love that the NBA, like you said, Jordan, is trailblazing, really took this by the storm. 0 positive tests. That's the great thing. I think this is a good idea.
So I think it was Jaylen Brown that said that quote.
Jaylen, yeah, that's what I thought. It was either him or Donovan Mitchell. I was off.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with like everything you guys said and the fact that, it's great for all these players. But to play like, obviously the concerned card is like, I'm thinking when the bubble first got set up and there were those few players that just like, oh, screw it, I'm going to go out and do my thing. Mm-hmm. We know like these family members, they're not the ones that are actually in the NBA. So there's going to be that one person, right? There's going to be that one person that ruins the bubble and puts everyone at risk. So, right. I mean, my question is if say one family member, if someone gets tested positive because like they left the bubble, do you think they'll kick all the guests out, or you think they'll just like remove that person and kind of hope it stays safe?
They'll definitely just test the rest of the family, make sure no one else is contracted. If that's the only person and they test everybody else and everybody else is good, I don't see them kicking everybody out. But if that one person, sorry, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go back home.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's scary.
I think the players are definitely going to have a list of people they trust to do the right thing while they're in the bubble, watching the games and supporting, their brother, friend, husband, what have you. I think they gonna bring somebody they can trust to do the right thing. It's all come down to trust if the NBA is going to allow this to happen.
Yeah, the wording was like family or like long tenured friend. I think that was the wording they used. So I have a feeling like if anything does happen, like if someone's family like does leave the bubble, it's gonna come and be blamed on like that player. So I feel like there's definitely like there has to be like rules going on behind the scenes of like, okay, like pick wisely because if something does happen, it's on you.
No IG models. Long-standing friends. All right, players. Look, man. I know.
Yeah, I grew up
with her for 6 months. I know
she's like a sister to me.
Long-standing. I can see somebody already saying, "Oh, we're in good standing." Yeah, we're in good standing. Nah, brother. Nah.
It's been a whole 3 months.
Can you imagine if you sneak like one of those long-standing friends down there? They get on your nerves. You can't kick them out.
Yeah,
you're just gonna be stuck with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Quarantine together.
I wonder if Jamal Murray will bring his special friend.
Oh my God! Don't even start on.
All right, moving on.
Kendall Jenner.
Oh God.
Yeah, which one? Which player is gonna bring Kendall Jenner?
Yeah, she has a whole starting five.
Who was it? D Book.
D Book got the inside track right now. Hashtag strawberries.
It's got to be one of them.